What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and for today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, by the band Sleep Token. For those of you who don't know who Sleep Token are, they are a progressive metal, alternative, indie, ambient band. They operate in all kinds of different styles of music, from having like acoustic sections in their songs to having just straight up metalcore breakdowns. They're from London. They started around 2016, and This Place Will Become Your Tomb is their second studio album. Their first one being Sundowning. It was a tremendous debut album, and it kind of, the theme of it was about like this sun god and like this nighttime god thing, and it also had different stuff in it about relationship issues, and it kind of bounced back and forth between the two themes, and they kind of mesh it together. And the clash of the themes is kind of weird for me, but musically, lyrically, vocally, everything about that album was near perfect. And This Place Will Become Your Tomb functions more in the theme of the relationship aspect. It's a little bit more relatable, extremely vulnerable throughout this entire album. They wear their heart on their sleeves lyrically. They don't hold anything back. They kind of done away with the whole sun god theme stuff, which I kind of liked. I wish they like dived a little bit more into it, more into that concept, instead of kind of tiptoeing in both sides of it and sundowning. So I have a feeling that this album will be a little bit more focused. The album opens up with the song Atlantic, which has a beautiful piano and very, very strong vocals. The lyrics are poetic and have fantastic imagery. It's very melancholy, and literally everything I just said basically describes this entire album. Verse 2 even brings in like a little bit of a static sound, or maybe it's like a rain effect, and it just sounds like the opening to a sad story or like a sad movie. And the song circles back around again to verse 1, and the drums and the guitar come in, and it's just absolutely incredible, and the motion in the song is very, very heavy. And then it continues into the next song, Hypnosis, which I gotta admit, I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I don't dislike it, but it's one of the lesser songs on this album for me. It's got the same kind of atmosphere as Atlantic, and it starts off with, this time, just a big riff and drums in the intro. It's got like this shuddery guitar effect thing, and the vocals definitely carry the verse. I believe it's about being manipulated by this person's partner or lover, and the bridge is very anticlimactic at first, and then just this wall of sound comes flying in at you. It's got a weird song structure. Like it ends on the bridge, which is super heavy, and then it has like this chunky guitar before the song's over, but it's literally like verse, chorus, verse, bridge, and then it's over. Like I said, it's just a weird song structure. It's very progressive in style, but it still works very well. Another song that didn't hit me quite as hard and seems to be kind of in the same area, same realm as Hypnosis would be the song Like That. It starts out with this synth beat, and just going off the lyrics, I would say it continues to be about manipulation. The lyrics are super creative though, saying waiting, talking with braces on your tongue just to provoke my combat. The first time you hear the chorus is just kind of meh, but then the second time it comes around, it gets a lot of help from the drums. And I would definitely say the outro in this song is the main attraction, but the song that comes in between Hypnosis and Like That definitely helps break them up a little bit. The song is Mine. It's very lighthearted with clean vocals and a keyboard passage in the verse. The chorus just adds a little bit of synth, not really mixing it up too much, but then the second verse really amps things up with guitar and drums and a little bit more synth. Then it mellows out with a bass line and kind of like lo-fi sounding drums. The second chorus sounds fantastic, but it's just a little repetitive, I would say. The music and the vocal performance really help it out a lot, and then the bridge has a fantastic vocal effect thing that like really, it kind of like replaces a guitar solo. I'm assuming it's a vocal effect, could be a keyboard, but it sounds like vocals. It just, the first time I heard it, I was like, is that a weird sounding guitar? It almost sounds like a guitar solo, but I'm pretty sure it's vocals. And speaking of a very strong vocal effect, the very sweet sounding song Fall For Me has a very strong vocal effect that took a little bit for it to grow on me. Sounds a little robotic, just a little bit too phased, I guess. And there's no like difference between the verses and the chorus. There's actually no music at all. It's just a vocal effect thing going on to kind of give it a little bit more ambiance to it. It's truly a touching song though. Lyrically very vulnerable. It's like a love song. It's very pleading. And this is one of those songs that, like I said, it really wears its heart on its sleeve. And then directly after it is the song Alkaline, which was one of the singles that was released. It has this very haunting synth effect and vocals. And the chorus expresses a feeling of like mystery as he's dwelling on his lover and the effects that she has on him and just how they kind of impact each other. The relationship, I gotta admit, seems pretty toxic as it did in the first album, Sundowning. Second verse gets a little bit more aggressive with stronger sounding vocals and a distorted guitar, and then the chorus just repeats itself twice to finish the song off. All right, so we're gonna get kind of crazy here, so just bear with me because we're gonna do a deep dive into the song The Love You Want, because I truly believe that it is one of the best songs of the year. It is so well written. I know people are gonna think I'm really dumb for saying that, but like I said, just bear with me. This song is just absolutely incredible. It's so good at progressing emotion and suspense. It starts out with like this really chill synth beat that's very quick and choppy, while the lyrics and vocals are very drawn out. It's kind of like the narrator sitting on like a park bench, dwelling on his thoughts, really just rolling them over as the rest of the world is really busy and hectic and still going on around him. And then the metaphors are absolutely insane too, as he's feeling the weight of like this rejection. And then the chorus is crazy vulnerable as he's telling this person as they're searching for love that he still has the love that they want. And he's expressing it very, very passionately. And then verse 2 really picks things up by bringing in the drums and a piano replaces the synth. And there's like this sense of melancholy that takes over the music while the vocals and the lyrics still remain kind of optimistic, saying, "Seems your heart is locked up and I still get the combination wrong. Or are you simply waiting to save your love for someone I am simply not?" Like, it's so vulnerable. The first time I heard that, I had to rewind it like several times and listen to it again. It's just, like I said, it's expressing the emotion and communicating it so well. And then the second chorus introduces like this choir effect kind of thing, and it brings in the atmosphere super heavy, and it really brings like the hope back into the song as things are starting to look a little dark. The bridge continues the emotion a little bit further, driving it home with a distorted guitar, just continually saying the same thing over and over again. Like I said, it's just such a well-written song. Go and listen to it again if you already have, or just listen to it for the first time and really just focus on the emotion that the vocalist is trying to get across to you. So after all that praise, we are now going to talk about another song that I wasn't really all that into. The song Distraction. It's got like this really cool piano section in the intro, and it's obviously about being broken. If you hear the chorus, he says what the song is about. His mind seems to be going in different directions though. Because he's distracted, he can't really focus on more than one thing. Maybe he's dealing with depression from this relationship. It doesn't really come alive like all that quick. It takes a little while for this song to really take off. And I just had a hard time getting into it just because it doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere, especially after coming off of the song Alkaline, which is a little bit more charged, there's a little bit more energy to it. I felt like this song was just kind of repeating that emotion, but not really getting it across in a different way. And the song directly after it, Descending, was another hard one for me to get into. It's got like this pit of despair vibe or something. The beat makes it feel like you're literally falling down into a hole. The pre-chorus has an interesting vocal effect, and the chorus is rather poppy. I'd say the chorus is probably one of the more digestible, radio-friendly sounding choruses, even though it does have some pretty unique sounds going on. I believe this is about him being very depressed and so like folded within himself. Like he's got a lot of walls up to where now his lover can't really reach him anymore. But then the song directly after it, I believe it's pronounced Telemaris, maybe. This is about his lover being able to reach him, and now he's rescued from his pit of despair. It's got this piano that creates like this peaceful atmosphere, and the chorus brings in the drums and guitar and synth, but it still carries that same kind of feeling. The last chorus climaxes as the song ends with like this bluesy guitar solo and probably some of the best drum work I've heard on this album. Another song I had a difficult time getting into was the song High Water. It's got like this dramatic kind of beat to it. It feels like, I don't know, it's got like a waltz vibe. I don't know anything about dancing, but that's the sense that I got from it. It seems like in this song he's taking his lover back, and he's kind of like taking the past or maybe even red flags and sweeping them under the carpet. He's choosing not to focus on them, which may or may not be a good idea. The chorus has this really nice crescendo effect. It just moves up and down. There's lots of hills and valleys in the chorus. Verse 2 has a beautiful guitar riff with a great tone. It's the first time we actually get some distorted guitar passage that isn't just like this heavy riff kind of breakdown thing. Then chorus 2 increases the intensity before dropping off into the bridge and a pretty heavy, gnarly breakdown as well. And the album finishes off with the song Missing Limbs, which, I mean, wow, this song hits you right in the heart. It starts off with this pretty finger-picking acoustic guitar and very raw vocals. You start to realize that there was a little bit of effect, some enhancement on the vocals throughout this entire album until you get to this song, because then they're just so raw, and they're very much in your face, and you feel a little bit more personal with them. And the chorus is, dare I say, catchy, and it has a pretty good sounding hook to it. Verse 2 brings in the piano, and it seems like he wants to get back together with this person who has this effect on him, but at the same time he doesn't really want to get back together with them, and he's like remembering their past and what they went through and how they were hurt in a past relationship, and that still makes him really angry, and he wishes that he could just let that go, but he's having a really hard time with it. It's very sad, and it does a really good job at bringing all this emotion together and closing the album off perfectly. Honestly, the only issues I found myself having with this album were the effects that were used, mainly the vocal effects. I just wasn't really that into them, and it kind of took away from the emotion of the songs. Like, I felt like the vocals actually were the most enjoyable part for this. So when you took that away, it made some of the repetitiveness of the song lyrically and some of the stuff that just musically didn't really grab your attention that much. It made it stand out all that much more. Like, I found myself enjoying 6 of these songs on this 12-song album, and the other 6 of them were just kind of all right. I didn't really find myself wanting to go back to them. But then again, this album does have the song The Love You Want, which I did say is one of the greatest songs of this year. Which, like I said, you guys are going to think I'm really dumb for claiming that. But to me, it does every single thing right. Even if you don't like it, it's still, I don't know, it still is a perfect freaking song as far as I'm concerned. But even with all those songs taken away and that song being as fantastic as it is, this is still a tremendous album. I just don't find it standing up quite as well as Sundowning did. Sundowning, it hit everything just right. Even the songs that I felt like I wish it was more about, like the sun god theme, or I wish they would have just been more about relationships. I wish he would have picked one or the other. I felt like that album did everything musically right and lyrically right, and it just really killed it. That album had so many good songs on it. Majority of them were practically perfect. So with all that said, I gotta give This Place Will Become Your Tomb by Sleep Token a 7.6 out of 10. I know this album's been out for quite a while, so people have had a good chance to listen to it and really digest it, and some people have found themselves going back to listening to it over and over again. A lot of people have just moved on. So I want to know what you guys think of This Place Will Become Your Tomb. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought and what you would rate it. And of course, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what I should review next. If you want to help support me and my channel and just really give me an ego boost and make me feel great today, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously, and I appreciate it more than you could ever imagine. Even if you don't do any of that stuff, you just take your time to watch my video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day for that. Like I said, I just appreciate it more than I could ever express to you guys, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
I was trying to make it lying down.